What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Harari Boy, and today I wanted to go over some of the biggest mistakes you can make at a dealership. Some of these are just so subtle. For example, what do you want your monthly payment to be? For this question, just don't give a number, for example. That question sounds harmless on the surface, but it can completely change how the deal is structured for you. So by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what number to focus on instead and 5 things I would do before buying a car. So definitely stay tuned for that. All right, guys, as some of you may know, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I've been searching all over Netflix to watch Dragon Ball episodes, but unfortunately, Netflix here just doesn't have them. But which version of Netflix does? Netflix Japan. Some of you might be wondering, how on earth am I accessing Netflix Japan, right? Well, that's where NordVPN comes in. NordVPN is one of the top VPN services out there. It allows you to mask your location and browse securely, which is perfect for protecting your privacy. Plus, NordVPN can basically change your location to anywhere in the world with just a few clicks. So it's just as easy as that. That's how I'm able to access Netflix Japan and binge all of the Dragon Ball episodes that I can fathom. It's not just about watching international shows, however. NordVPN adds an extra layer of security basically as you're browsing, so your personal information stays safe and your online activity remains private. If you want to unlock more content and protect your privacy online, head over to nordvpn.com/harariboy to get over 70% off a 2-year subscription plus 3 months free. And if you don't like it, you can cancel within 30 days and get a money back guarantee. It is worth the peace of mind and extra content you'll have access to. All right, so the one principle I want you to remember here is if you can't afford the car, don't let the loan term convince you that you can. All right, this is why I always say to stay debt free because this is how they can manipulate you. A lower monthly payment doesn't mean you're getting a better deal, right? They can just expand the term to like 84 months, I'm hearing now. So it's like crazy. Sometimes it just means you're essentially paying it for longer, and the goal isn't to make the car fit your payment, but rather it's whether or not that car fits your finances here at the moment. All right. So why do they ask what's your monthly budget and why is that a trap? Imagine if I tell the salesperson I'm comfortable paying $500, $600 a month, right? Now they know my ceiling, right? Every month. It's none of their business how much I can afford it or how much I make. And these questions are private. The answers to these questions are private, so you shouldn't give out too many details to these guys. All right. So they can work backwards essentially from that number you just gave them. A higher trim level, a more expensive vehicle, dealer add-ons, longer loan terms, and suddenly the payment is still within your budget, right? Keeps you happy. The total deal could be much worse. So this happened a lot a few years ago when all the car prices were going up. Dealerships were notorious for putting $10,000 on top of MSRP, and how that was legally possible, who knows? They always find a loophole, unfortunately. All right, so here's what people miss. Pay very close attention to the vehicle price. Is it MSRP? Is that what the manufacturing is saying to essentially sell it for? If that is the case, then that is what you negotiate from, right? Now, I want you to essentially take that loan term, right? 60 months or not even 60 months, let's do 24 months, right? And say, in the span of 24 months, can I afford to pay for this car? If the answer is yes, I want you to stash that for 24 months, that payment for the car that you would have paid for the car, put it into a savings account and buy it in cash. What this does, it allows you to have leverage. So now, like, let's say, for example, the car was $24,000 and you stashed away 1,000 a month for it, right? I know that's pretty high, but just bear with me here. Now that you have that 24,000 in cash, you don't have to worry about these little stupid loan terms that they can trick you with. Now you can just tell them, I'm comfortable paying $20,000 for this car. All right. So what they're going to say is they're going to try to push back and say, you should just finance it and try to pull all the tricks out of the book. But now you have them on the hot seat. You're no longer on the hot seat. So that's principle number one I want you guys to go away with. All right. So now there's a really stupid method called the four square problem. And unfortunately, this is what the dealerships use in their tactics here. But It's better to be in the know-how than to just be surprised by this. But the four squares that they look for is trade-in value, vehicle price, down payment, monthly payments in that pecking order. So your eyes naturally go to the monthly payments. That actually that's exactly what they want you to be drawn to, and essentially they don't want you to negotiate around the price. So if the payment drops from 845 to, let's say, 476, that sounds like a huge win for you, right? But what actually changed? Did the price actually drop? This is what you need to look at. Or did they just stretch out the loan term, right? My favorite thing that they do essentially is they'll use this four square method, and their eye is drawn to what they want it to be drawn to. But really, I love it when people just withhold the trade-in value. Honestly, don't even mention that you have a trade-in. You should go into this just not even about the monthly payments, down payment, or anything like that. Just come in there in a strong cash position and say, hey, this is what I want to pay for this car. Are you willing to work with me? And whatever that final number is, if it works in your favor, then you bring in the trade-in value and you say, hey, I have this car I want to trade in. How much can you give that for me? I really love the face on these dealerships or these dealers when they hear about the trade-in value, because they want to get that up front. They want to know, and then they just want to play around with the number and make it seem like you're getting a good deal. But when you surprise them like that, they probably gave you their best deal possible. Now they have no wiggle room to cheat you or cheat the system. So that's how you essentially can play their game. So that's another key takeaway there. All right. Don't fall for the four square problem. All right. So don't ask how low can you get my payments. Ask what's your best out the door price, right? This is what we need to get to. Then negotiate that number, right? Price first, financing never, and add-ons can be last, right? After you get that best number. So keep each part separate, that pecking order. All right. So with that, the dealership has another lever that they can use. The monthly payment isn't the only thing they can manipulate. The interest rate matters as well. You might qualify for one rate, but the dealer could offer you a higher rate without you even knowing sometimes. So you see the payment, you're all happy, and you have no idea that they just made that a 10% interest rate, and they've expanded out their loan term, so you're paying them more over time. So they see the interest rate they're making on the loan, and even a small difference in interest could cost you hundreds or thousands over time. So keep that in mind. All right. So my number one rule is never walk in blind. Do your research as much as possible, and you have to know what you can afford, right? How much cash you actually have for this car, what the car should actually cost at the end of the day, and what interest rate I can qualify for should never be a question that you should ask. So just you only do cash here. So I don't want you to discover any like type of financing options. I want you to go in there, number in the back of your mind, but don't give them your full number because you're probably not going to get that. So always try to negotiate below what you actually have. All right, so that brings me to the next part, which is know your number, right? What is that number? How much cash are you willing to spend on this car? And obviously, can you afford it? Things like that. Do not think about the monthly payment as your number. That is not the way to go. People can afford 500 and 600, but guess what? Job loss or some financial hardship happens. You don't own that car. They'll repo it back from you. And not only will they just resell it and you lose all the money you put into it, they can also come back to you for that money that you put in. So that's why I always say know the proper number, stay away from financing as much as possible. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. My red lines I would draw. Last tip I'll give you is that make sure that the car is no more than 25 to 30% of your total net worth. People think about income. Well, why are you thinking income if you're not worried about the monthly payments, right? We're not doing monthly payments. We are trying to stash up enough money to buy the car, write out cash, right? And because of that, we're basically putting our money on fire because cars go down in value, right? It's not an investable asset, but it is something that is an investment into yourself where it can get you from point A to point B. And that's why you want to spend the least amount of your net worth on it, on a depreciating asset like that. So 25 to 30% is the rule of thumb that you need to pay towards the car that goes down in value. Try to always get used. If you want to get new, same rules apply. 25 to 30% buying cash. Right. The problem is when you buy new like that, you're not getting the brunt of the depreciation there. You are going to essentially get it later on. And you tend to buy a used car, it's already depreciated to a point, and it's like the depreciation slows down from there. So those are a couple things I want you to think about. Maybe a year or two older is probably the best route for you to go. Let me know in the comment section below. Have you ever gone to a dealership to buy your cars? I personally try to avoid them as much as possible. Luckily, I have a family member that has a dealership license, so I can just buy a car directly from him. So, but let me know what you guys do, and if you guys have ever faced Foursquare method or any of these tactics that I didn't cover in today's video. And if you got value, as always, definitely give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.